Okay, we are going to go ahead and start shading. Once you have your lines lightly sketched onto your white paper. Just a reminder, I used bowls to trace around my circles. Look through like your Rubbermaid drawer or the cabinet. You should be able to find some good bowls. I used the bottom of a cup for this one, and I used a tape roll for this one. So give me something nice to trace around. And then I just used a ruler to make my straight line straight. You should you should be using a ruler or something to trace around. If it's angular or a circle, you want those to be precise. The only one that I did not use something was for this fun organic shape that cuts through all of my circles, okay? So my area of emphasis is gonna be up here within my circle. So I'm not gonna work on that area first. I'm gonna start in another area, and everything within this fun little design is going to get shaded. So I'm just gonna start right over here in this organic shape. When you start shading, I want you to not start, I'm gonna zoom in real quick here so you can really see this up close. I don't want you to go over your pencil lines at all. I want you to leave a little bit of a white space. So I've got my pencil all the way over on the side, okay? And we're gonna start at about a 6 with some pressure. I'm not touching my pencil line that I made. I'm just kind of making a little bit of a border. And then I'm gonna push it out towards the middle, and as I push it out, I want it to get lighter, lighter, lighter. So this is a graded value scale, and as it comes out to the center of your shape, it's just gonna get lighter, 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 okay? So it's almost like you're making this bubble inside of your shapes. You can hear my dog's feet, nails clicking. Okay, so it's just gonna keep getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And remember, turn your paper so that you aren't rubbing your hand. And you can see I'm not touching my pencil lines. The key to getting this super smooth, folks, is getting that pencil all the way over on its side. And do you see how sharp my pencil is? A lot more lead is touching the paper with a sharp pencil rather than a dull pencil. If you have a dull pencil, your shading is gonna take longer, and it's probably gonna look more, it's gonna have more lines in it. So every time I move to a new side of my shape, I turn my paper. I'm never touching pencil lines. Think of them like kryptonite. Don't touch your lines. Shade towards the inside of your shape. The focus of this project, beyond the composition stuff, is that we're really trying to this is your big show off that you have really begun to get a handle on shading and begun to master it, okay? It's okay that it touches there in the middle. And when we're done, we're gonna go back and pull out those pencil lines with an eraser. So if your pencil lines look a little dark, before you even start shading these lines, go ahead and lighten them up so that you can just barely see them, because we want them to be totally invisible when you're done. I have to keep mine kind of dark so that you can see them on the video, but if I were doing this in real life, they would be even lighter. So on this one, I did a graded value on all the sides. So it goes from dark to light, dark to light, dark to light, dark to light. On the next one, I'll show you another way that you can do this. And you should be picking one shape and doing this right along with me on your picture. Never touching the pencil lines. But a lot of you will probably notice that I've mentioned, especially when I was grading your value scales, that you need to have crisp edges. I'm going to show you how you achieve that here in just a second. So right now, all we've been doing is pencil work with the side of our pencil. But now we're going to come in here and we're really going to use the tip of our pencil to kind of define things. I got awful close to my line there. I'll clean it out in just a second with my eraser. Okay, and I just want to go all the way around, really kind of making everything crispy. I don't want to outline it. I just want it not to be fuzzy on the edges. If I was doing a texture, that would be fine, but I'm not going for texture here. Now, I don't have a ton of dark to light, so I'm going to come back into this side and I'm going to push a little bit harder with the side of my pencil and see if I can get a little bit more dramatic with my dark to light. So I'm really going to put some pressure on it, but I still want it to be super smooth. And I've already got some graphite on the paper, so it should blend in nice and smooth. And as I pull down to the middle of my shape, it's like there's a string pulling on my pencil, pulling it off of the paper. And I'm going to use less pressure and less pressure and less pressure as I come down until it just floats off the paper. I'm going to turn it and I'm going to get this other side. So use a good deal of pressure. And as I come down, it's going to start pulling back, pulling back, pulling back that pressure until it just floats off, okay? And now I've got this really cool kind of dark to light thing going on, right? That one's done. Let's go ahead and do this one right here. I'm gonna move my dark to this side so that it's opposite. So on this shape, I'm gonna start dark on this side and move lighter back. It probably wouldn't work so good to put dark right next to dark, okay? We want that opposite balance, kind of like yin and yang. So I'm gonna do the same thing all over again, and see, I'm starting to get some fingerprints. That's okay, we can clean it off at the end. In just a second, I'll show you how you can cover your work with a cover sheet. But just don't touch your pencil lines again and start moving down into your next shape. And I'm starting with some pretty heavy pressure, but just please do not have your pencil up on its tip when you're coloring that hard, or you're gonna have a lot of lines. And your goal is smooth. So lots of turning your paper back and forth so that you're not dragging your hand through anything. And I'm going to push my dark this time quite a ways down, and then I'll start to fade it out. Let me bring it kind of around this edge. And just lots of going over is what's going to take away any kind of lines that you might have. Like right now you can see I've got a line right here where I eased up on my pressure. So I'm going to use little circles and just keep going over the top until it just disappears. I'm kind of pressing hard and then not pressing hard, and pressing hard and then not pressing hard, so that it just begins to fade it out. Turn it back, and I'm pulling back my pressure now to about a 7 or a 6. Always lots of going back over. It's not just one swipe done. As we move across this one, we're fading, fading, fading. Oh, that's a little bit dark. If you have a spot that ends up being a little darker than what you want, you can always take an eraser. You've got your pink pearl that I gave you. And you can always just come in here and kind of pull it back out. And then try again, adjust your pressure. Always start light and then kind of press into it to find the magic spot, so that you don't come in pressing too hard to begin with. And our goal is to close up this line so that it's pretty thin. We don't want it very thick at all. It's gonna work best if it's just like barely even a line visible at all. So you might have to adjust on the other side a little. Do a little bit more crisp work so that you get just a nice even shading, okay? And then I'm gonna just start fading it so light that it begins to just entirely lift off the paper. And end it with like a 2, just a barely even there shade. Okay, now I've still got some kind of line stuff happening here, so just a little bit of cross hatching will take care of that. Just some light, work it one way, and then flip the paper, go the other way. Oh, sorry, there's my dogs. These are the hazards of making videos at home. Okay, so that shape is just about finished. I'm gonna take a second, clean up a few pencil marks, keep it clean as it goes so I don't have a big mess to clean up at the end. I would recommend that you take a sheet of notebook paper and cover your work as you go so that your hand has something to rest on, and that will keep you from smudging. But you don't want to slide this paper or it's going to smudge what's underneath. So drop it, press down and shade, pick it up, relocate it, okay? As far as cleaning out this line goes, I would recommend that you wait till the end, but just to give you an idea, a mechanical pencil works awesome for this, probably better than your pink pearl, and you're just oh so lightly gonna come back through here and clean that line out when you're done. Okay, and same thing around the edges here. You probably have to pull back just a little bit of what was there to begin with. You could even push your shading out to the outside edges if it's near the white part, that would be fine. It's just on this inside part where we're trying to create this cool illusion of an implied line, we want to leave that little space. Okay, and keep going. So on this next one, let's see, I've got dark, kind of dark. I think I'll put my dark right in here. When you get to your colored pencil, exact same rules apply. Pencil needs to be sharp, it needs to be over on its edge. It's gonna take multiple layers to get it really smooth. It will not erase as well as graphite, so keep that in mind. I would save it for last when you're feeling like a pro at this. I'm gonna quickly fade this off. And because I've already got a little bit of a line going there, this time I can push it out to the line and I'll be fine. As long as I keep that little line intact and it doesn't disappear, we're good, okay? And then maybe just take your eraser and kind of so lightly pull it out. This is delicate work, guys. You can't attack this like a bull in the china closet. Where do I want to put my dark this time? I think I'm going to do this one really dark and give me some good contrast, and then I'm going to put my other dark on this side. I think overall this one's going to be pretty dark. And because, no, it's not an outside edge. I was gonna say push it all the way out, but. Okay, I need to pull it back really fast because this is a really small shape. Really quick pull back. Okay, there we go. So see, I still was able to get light to dark even in that small shape. Let's head over here. I'm gonna push the dark. I think I'm gonna go, yep, I'm gonna go right along this edge. Kind of keep that same feel going as what I have right here. That'll kind of emphasize that edge of that circle. So your call, you can either have it fade all the way across, you can always have it fade into the middle. You get to decide how you want to fade it. Oh, sorry. Mabel, Bella, stop. I have to bark at every single person that walks by. Okay, this one's staying pretty dark. I need to pull this back really fast or else the whole thing's gonna end up being this just even flat value, and that's really not what we're going for here. So quickly, I could always take my eraser and kind of pull it back out too, and then hit it, try one more time, lay in some light value. Okay, yeah, that's good. I still get some range of values in there from dark to light. Okay, so that one's done. Just need to clean out. Helps if you can kind of find an edge on your eraser. If it's a really new one, that's usually the best because they're real sharp edges. Okay, looking good. Let's keep going. Okay, on this one, I'm gonna put my darkest value over here. Actually, on this one, let's do the all the way along the outside edge again. Whoa. Tracer. Okay, so I want you to keep going just on your inside spaces here, okay? And anything that's your negative space around your design, I want you to leave white. Don't color your emphasis yet. Tomorrow, I will come back with your video for doing colored pencil. Today, just focus on the black and white shading through the areas outside, okay? Anything within this circle, I'm not going to shade at all because that's my emphasis. I'm only gonna go around it. And all of that can get shaded black and white, okay? So anything beyond here, anything beyond here, okay? I'll do it better, but I just want you to kind of be able to see. Nothing inside of this circle. I can do this one, and I can do anything down here, but nothing within that circle do I want to shade yet. That all needs to be saved for colored pencil, okay? All right, good luck.